Hi, I'm Grant.
And I'm Kathy. Welcome back to our Change How You Think weekly video podcast.
If you'd like to hear from us every week, then subscribe to our video by clicking on the weekly video tab at the top of this page. Fill in the subscription form and you'll get our free ebook, Healthy Moods.
Have you ever been frustrated by God's timing? Have you ever asked God, what are you waiting for? I'm sure you have. We all have. The problem is God has a completely different schedule for our lives than we do. The frustrating part about that is He doesn't give us a copy of it.
The Bible is full of promises for us. Many of you have received prophetic words or the voice of the Spirit to you directly about wonderful things to come in your life. But months or years have passed and you don't see any evidence of them actually happening.
That's frustrating. I'm sure you've questioned if you heard right. You probably wondered, did God really tell you those things? Was the promise really for me? Maybe it was just wishful thinking and not Him at all.
I've often struggled with this issue, and I've talked to God about it many times. Last month, when once again I was asking God, where is the evidence of your promise? He spoke something very surprising to me. He said, why do pilots use instrument flying? Well, this seemed like an unusual thing for God to say. It didn't sound very holy, spiritual, or biblical. So I answered, they focus on their instruments when they can't see where they're going, or they can't trust what they're seeing or sensing. God agreed with me. Then He added, my promises to you are your instruments. You focus on them when you can't see anything in front of you that tells you what's happening. Trust my words to you as your guide when you're confused by what you see. Then the light went on. That's what Paul meant in 2 Corinthians 5 and 7 that says, for we live by faith, not by sight.
This also helps explain Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. So we have faith for things that have not yet happened. If we could see the results in front of us, we wouldn't need any faith to believe them.
A promise is always about the future. God has given us promises that remind us how He sees our future. We are to remind ourselves of them when the events in front of us may be the opposite of what He promised.
In times like that, we have to remember the promise in Romans 8 and 28. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose.
So the next time you are frustrated and confused by what's happening in your life, remember, fly by your instruments. Keep your eyes on Jesus and His promises. You can trust Him to guide your next step even when you can't see where to put it.
If you'd like to learn how to hear God's voice for yourself, then join our Free Your Mind program. And we have an entire course there on how to hear God speaking to you directly. And we will walk you through a personal healing journey mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. You can learn more about it using the links below this video.
We'll talk to you again next week, but this week, use your instruments to fly.